Hey everyone, welcome back. Today is January 10th and is Baro coming to the Strata Relay on Earth. Happy New Year's and I hope everybody has had good holidays. Welcome into 2025 and as you know Warframe 1999 has dropped. So the bigger question now is, well, when will the Coda Liches drop with the new weapons? I'm personally interested in, which one is it? I don't remember if it was Synapse, but it was one of the beam-infested weapons, because that's going to be pretty interesting. Being able to check out animal elements, let's see what Baro has brought this time. We have our Railjack retrofit login music, okay. Cosmetics, again. So, no, it's not new weapons or gear this time from it. However, if you recall, Baro's last Christmas visit from 2 weeks ago brought pretty much almost his entire inventory and like all of the Prisma weapons. So it's probably going to be a while until we get good new stuff again. Prime Point Blank is here. For any raw damage build that doesn't want build up like killing Demless or stuff and whatnot, this is still strongly recommended since you don't have to upkeep stacks like Guncio. Otherwise, I mean, it's not absolutely mandatory, but I'd still recommend picking this up. Base damage mods are pretty staple in builds these days. One of the two, I think. Prime Cold Chilling Grasp is the other one. But this is one of the two primed elemental mods for shotguns. Grab it. There's literally no reason not to. Good raw damage corrosive build. Good electric status builds as well. Prime Cleanse Grenier. I mean, pretty self-explanatory. If you're going to build an electric DPS build, then yeah, that can work quite well. You can do some funny stuff with this if you play Acetchel Sobek with Saren. Because, well, Bane's triple dip on Toxin Lash. But yeah, there's probably more else that you can do. Prisma Goi Sentinel Tail, it looks like this. That's what Baro's brought this time. We've got our Prisma Sigil, which is, I mean, it literally looks like what it is on your chest. Just typical Prisma effects. We have our Prisma Arrows, too, as well, if you want those for your bow. Mayor Detron, this is superseded by the Tenet Detron these days, which has an alt fire that lets you dump the entire mag. Pretty handy for Profit Taker and other stuff. Otherwise, this is like the lower damage, lower status, just worse all around. Once upon a time, it was a pretty fun, interesting weapon, but these days, it's mostly just a collector's item. Display Argyle, if you want this in your, well, orbiter, it's there. Zanuka Hunter Beacon, if you're looking for some funny drop stuff. I don't remember what weapon actually drops from Zanuka, but for those that are looking to farm this, you probably already know. I haven't had to use this in years, but yeah, that's there. If you like to drop FPS of your teammates, and you can spam these in Simulacrum when they're there, because Simulacrum tool usage doesn't count to your limits. As soon as you leave, it'll give them all in the back, but yeah, you can mess around with that. Prime Bane of Grenier. Wait, hasn't this been... This hasn't shown up in, like... I'm pretty sure it's been a very long time since Baro brought this. And Rifles is actually a pretty good archetype, especially for Incarnons these days. I would say grab this. Like, even if you're not going to use it right now, you could probably use it again down the road at some point. Price is technically super cheap now to trade, but for some reason, Baro just never seems to want to bring the rifle version of this mod back. Like, it's so long until it ever returns. Otherwise, we have our Harkonnen Wraith armor, the entire collection set. We have got left and right asymmetrical sides, and the shin plates, as well as the chest piece that looks like that. Harkonnen Wraith cloak for the Sandana as well. Axe V8 if you want your Volts parts back again. And Lex Prime Receiver. Remember, Lex Incarnon's a thing. Hits like a truck. It's basically like a catch moon on crack. Higher damage, better crits, bigger hitbox, and can force proc impact from any range instead of just close range like a catch moon. Perfect for raw damage builds, as well as Hemorrhage to convert impact procs into slash. We've got a Prisma Uru Sandana. If you want to have, like, I know, an insect-inspired thing there. Prime Pack Leader. I guess this is useful now after the pet mod rework, like, a year and a half ago. I don't really know what to say. Like, if you really want to go into your companion type builds for hybrid or focused on companion DPS builds, this can be pretty handy. You just gotta actively use a melee build, otherwise, yeah, it just lets you keep topped up and overguard at all times for them. Elixis Latron Pistol Skin, basically just a fashion piece for Capture. Nice fashion line of skins. I've always liked the Elixis series, and it's here if you'd like to grab it. Deimos Velospod Prex, just collectibles, display in your orbiter. Empyrean Vignette, if you don't want a fish tank, instead you want dogfights in space in your personal quarters, you can grab this here again, and all of those little decorative ships you've seen Baro bring in the past, yeah, you can place those in there. Okay, Halakar Wraith. Once upon a time, this was a rather awkward weapon. Not the great on status, it was good raw damage, and it just had blast. But now, with the element rework, this super high status build and okay crit, you can get some pretty interesting blast stuff out of it. However, you'd probably have to use like some weird initial combo, high combo build so you can get Weeping Wounds to scale this up a lot higher. Or you can just mess around with Lavos. But I mean, Lavos can force proc blast on anything because he gives the elements to himself. Otherwise, yeah, this thing is really only relevant for blast shenanigans. So just keep that in mind. Prime Fulmination is pretty handy, especially for things like Spore Lacer, but I think these days people are running around with the Icarius, especially if you're on an Energized Munitions build, or I've seen people still really loving it with Gauss. But the thing with Icarius is you can build it for Blast Proc spam, because it spits them out so easily. It's like the status version of the Exceltra as a pistol. And this will give you slightly bigger blast radius. I mean, that weapon doesn't really have big blast radius, but there's probably other weapons you can use this for that you'll find a good use for it. Its fulmination is kind of usually a make or break thing, or certain weapons it barely does anything, others it just makes a huge difference. Garvin Latrox poster, more decorations. Okay, Vastalok. Once upon a time when Armor Strip was harder to gain access to, this was a big highlight, and you'll see a lot of videos of us talking about this in the past, which is why you might still see people talking about this to this day. Corrosive shards exist now, the green shards. So this has kind of fallen off by the wayside, but if you need to armor strip like a particular boss or something, and you don't have the corrosive shards on that build, I guess they can still work. The TLDR was, this is basically a shotgun. Each pellet counts for shattering impact. It shoots 9 out at once, so it would effectively strip 50-something base armor per shot. So just shred armor off enemies super duper fast. Otherwise, yeah, it's... Only other thing is, I guess you can use it for melee influence electric build because it's effectively a shotgun that can benefit from melee combo counter. So you can get the damage really high with Weeping Wounds and Blood Rush at 12 times, just spamming basic attacks. But, yeah, that's it. Okay, another decorative thing. And then we have a Baruch Immortal skin. This one's actually kind of interesting because it somewhat obeys the flow of parts on the base skin, but otherwise it still kind of just interrupts the flow of the sculpting sometimes. I don't know, I'm not too fond of it, but this one's okay. And we have the entire Theodolite collection that's here for your Operator and Drifter if you'd like it as well. And the arm sleeves, those ones look a bit bulky. I don't mind the, like, if you're fine with the hood, and I think the crew suit and legs are fine, but I've always found the arm parts a bit too much. Baruch Dawn Silhouette Glyph. This is for one of his deluxe that came out a while back, and it's there now. Sense of an Aros Blueprint, if you haven't done an Aros quest yet. I don't think I need to say this anymore. And a Fade Path Ephemera as always, and of course, if you show up as an Aros Prime, there'll be the Lost Signal to escort Baro for his own mission. Otherwise, that's what Baro has brought this week. Thank you all so much for being here, and well, I guess you'll see me uploading plenty of builds again once the Coda Liches drop. Otherwise, as some of you know, DE has finally pushed out a new hotfix for, well, Site 09, and I've been waiting on that because, I mean, he's been so bugged, but maybe I'll finally get a chance to look at him now. Otherwise, like and subscribe goes a long way helping out the channel, and that'll be it for this one. I'll see you all next time.